Welcome to Pivot Parenting, where we help parents of teens overcome regret and disappointment to find peace and connection in every situation. I'm Heather Frazier, your parenting expert. Journey with me to discover effective parenting tips, improve family relationships, and build a brighter future for your kids. Buckle up, things are about to get better. My friend, welcome to Pivot Parenting. I'm so happy that you are here. It is a beautiful day as I sit and record this. I was just outside, and a few years ago, I did something special for myself that I appreciate every spring. Let me just tell you, here's what you do. You get your lawn aerated. And what that means is they poke a bunch of little holes in your grass so that air can breathe in the roots of your grass and it helps it stay healthy and strong. But these little holes that they poke into your lawn are the perfect size for baby spring bulbs, like snowdrops and crocus. Do you see where I'm going with this? I have all of these beautiful little flowers popping up in my yard, and bees come and birds come, and it's just like this spring delight in my yard. And I am quite fond of it. And all of my snowdrops are coming up, and they are just precious. And I can't wait to meet the crocus. They're coming. And I know it's the end of February, but by golly, this has been one of the weirdest winters of my life. We never really got winter. And the crocus usually tend to come up in February anyway. It's funny because I was FaceTiming with my son, who currently is living in Manhattan, and it is a winter storm advisory. He was FaceTiming me as he was walking down the middle of the street in Manhattan. There was not a car in sight. Well, there were a few cars in sight, but they were parked and buried on the side of the road with trees falling over them and covered in snow. And it was a winter wonderland, and class was canceled. And so he was just walking around, going to get some breakfast and study at a cafe where there's internet, and that's what he likes to do. The juxtaposition of where he's at and what he's experiencing as opposed to where we are at and the beautiful sunshiny weather. I was just outside with a t-shirt on, and I run cold, so that is saying a lot. But it is just beautiful, and thank you for letting me ramble about springtime. I love spring. I love change and moving into the next, which is spring and fall, my two favorite seasons. Summer and winter can get a little bit redundant toward the end, just ready for the change, and I am so excited for spring. And this is much like parenting. Teens are in the spring of their life. They're getting ready to burst forth as full-fledged, blooming adults. And I just absolutely love that transformation of waking up into something bigger and better and beautiful and new. It just kind of gives you hope in the world. You know what I mean? Today we're talking about the sixth of six beliefs that I wanted to cover. This one is a summation of all of the six. It's the most important one, and it's the belief that ties everything together. And it is that we, as the adult, are the start of any transformation. Now, I'm going to be really direct with you because I love you. I love you, and I think about you and your family and the families that you know and love and the struggles that you're having. And you need to transform yourself to heal your relationship. You are the only thing that you have control over, not your teen. I know we want to hold on to the belief that that would be so much easier, and it would be, but that's not how we work as humans. Our teens control themselves, we control ourselves. When you learn how to manage your own thoughts, your reactions and actions, instead of trying to manage your teen's behavior everything between you naturally improves. Now, I know what you might be thinking, which is, but Heather, they're the one that won't get out of bed. They're the one that sasses me. They're the one that lies to me. They're the one failing math. And I get it. I hear you. I have had similar thoughts and frustrations. Trust me. But let me ask you this. What have you tried so far to get them to play how you want them to play? And how has that worked for you? It didn't work at all for me. And all the parents that I meet, it doesn't work for them too. The putting the hammer down, the lectures, the pleading, the begging, the giving up, the silent treatment, walking on eggshells, trying to do anything to please them, tying yourself in a pretzel so that they will appreciate you. My friend, if those approaches were going to work, they would have worked by now, and we would all not be having this conversation. But you and I, we expect them to work, we really want them to work, and we put everyone through the ringer trying to get them to work. And it just creates more of what we don't like. For example, we think, I'm so disconnected from my kid. So we hound them for information. We go through their phone. We eavesdrop on conversations. We meddle in their life so that we can connect with them. And that feels even more disconnecting because we're not behaving our best. We're disconnecting not only from them, but also from ourselves. And our kids don't like that. And so they're also going to withdraw from us. If these approaches were going to work, they would have worked. Was it Albert Einstein that said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results? Was that him? If you actually want something different, you have to do something different. Here's what I have learned and what I teach every single parent I work with. There's a model that we have the circumstance, which is our kid. And circumstances lead to thoughts like they're lazy, or they're the best. And then those thoughts leads to feelings like frustrated or grateful. And those feelings lead to action like nagging our kid or being extremely happy with them. And that action leads to a result, a good relationship or a struggling relationship. So, while we cannot control if our teens roll their eyes at us, that's the circumstance. It just happened. You can't control it. But your thought might be, they don't respect me. So that thought creates a feeling, maybe anger or hurt. And that feeling drives an action to maybe snap at them, be passive aggressive, launch into a lecture. And that action creates a result. They shut down even more. We shut down even more. There is more distance, more resentment, the exact opposite of what we wanted. But what if the circumstance was the same? They roll their eyes and your thought is different. Now, I can speak to personal experience for this. I am an expert at receiving death stares and eye rolls. This was like the soup du jour for my oldest, and she loved serving it hot or ice cold. I got both. And I did all the unhelpful things for a long time. And then one day, I started doing things that completely tripped her in her tracks. I would say things like, "Oh, you're so cute when you do that." And when I did that for the first time, let me just tell you, the comedic relief was palpable. If comedy isn't your thing, you could say, "Ooh, that's the overwhelmed look. But I love you. What's going on? Tell me why you're giving me the stink eye, because I know that you know I love you and I know that you love me, so let's talk about it." And handing it back to your child so that you can tackle it together. That is compassion. When we have compassion, we act with patience, with love, with understanding. And the result? Connection instead of conflict. Same eye roll, completely different outcome. That is the power of this work. Hi there. I just want to pause and let you know if you are struggling to make sense of your teens' behaviors, emotions are running wild, and you're looking to turn things around to have the family you dreamed of while rocking them to sleep, I would love to talk to you. I want to give you a special, powerful gift. 30 minutes with me, my friend. You'll walk away with more confidence, clarity, and understanding of what the issue is and your next best step in resolving any situation you bring to me. It's completely free. I love families and want to help yours be wildly happy and successful. Book this call by visiting my website, heatherfraser.com. Remember, Fraser is spelled with a Z-I in the middle. And don't worry, the link is also in the show notes. I look forward to meeting and helping you. Just like we can have different opinions about the weather, whether it's snowing in Manhattan or spring blossoms are coming up in Utah, we can have different thoughts and opinions about our teenagers' behavior or lack of. That's all circumstance. It's just the facts of what's happening, and it's beyond our control. Our thoughts about the behavior, that's the part that we want to focus on, because that is where we have the most autonomy, authority, and power for improvement. Because when we change our thoughts, our feelings change. We can go from resentment or anger or frustration to compassion, empathy, love. And when our feelings change, our actions change. Even if we're going to follow through with consequences either way, the manner in which we do so feels different to everyone, which means our results will change. This is how transformation can actually happen. I've seen it a million times, including in my own life. One of my clients actually sent me this message after we worked together. She said, "Thank you for your amazing work. Our relationship with our boy is so much better, unrecognizable compared with a year ago. I really feel for all the people who never get the chance to make a change like this, never really get to have a loving relationship with their teens. I'm so grateful our paths crossed." This is what's possible when we stop trying to fix them and focus all of our energy on their quote unquote bad behavior. And we start working on ourselves and paying attention to how we are choosing to think, feel, and respond to them. Imagine for a moment actually liking your teen again, not dreading their mood or the next conflict. And I understand what that feels like, and just walking on eggshells the second your kid walks in the room. What if you didn't have to do that? Imagine just walking into the kitchen and having a real conversation and not feeling threatened or unsafe or low-key triggered. No defensiveness, no eggshells, just connection, love, understanding, mutual respect. This is available to you. Because relationships are like a dance. If you're used to doing the tango together, but you start doing the running man, they can't continue to do the tango with you. Meaning, if you're both behaving in dysfunctional ways and you start becoming functional, it is harder for them to remain in dysfunction, because you aren't propping up those unhealthy, unhelpful habits. I have seen transformations time and time again. This is available to you now, not someday when they grow up or mature or move out, because the resentment and the hurt is still there, and it will rear its ugly head when they come home. Did you know that studies have shown adults who go back to their house of origin around their siblings and their parents will in fact revert back to childish ways? And I'm sure you've seen this play out at the Thanksgiving table or Easter egg hunt or any of those types of situations where everybody all of a sudden is chewing on the same age-old argument. These things don't just fix themselves. And also, it's hard to do it without help, like cutting your own hair. My husband is an orthopedic surgeon. He is excellent at what he does, and he still wouldn't do surgery on himself. So let me ask you this. How long have you been trying to figure this out on your own? How many books have you read? How many podcasts have you listened to? How many conversations have you replayed in your head at 2 a.m, wondering what you could have, should have, would have said differently? You have been working so hard. And I understand what it feels like to put forth 110% effort and get a 5% return. It is a sucker punch. But you're still here. You're fighting for your kid and for your relationship. And I respect and love that so much. And I want to honor it with you. And here's what I've learned. We cannot see our own blind spots. Just like you can't cut your own hair, you need someone who can do that for you. Remember what I said earlier. There's usually a pattern or a cycle that keeps repeating, and you can't see it because you're inside of it. That's why I want to invite you to book a free Discover Your Disconnection Pattern call with me. Because like a surgeon or a hairstylist, I can see the parts that you cannot, and I can access them from a much better vantage point to yield a better result with much less effort and time. In this 45-minute call, just you and me, we're going to uncover the specific pattern that is driving the distance between you and your teen. Not the surface level stuff, the real stuff. We get to the root of the problem. The actual cycle that's been repeating without you ever realizing it. On this call, you're going to walk away knowing exactly where the disconnect is in your relationship. I'm going to give you tailored steps to repair and improve where it is needed most. And you'll have hope, real grounded hope. Not just the waited out kind, or maybe they'll grow out of it kind, but the kind that actually comes from finally understanding what is going on, being able to verbalize and articulate it. Now, you might be thinking, I don't have time for a call, or it's too late. My friend, you're spending hours worrying about this, and it is never too late. No need to replay arguments. No need to think of better comebacks. No more hiding in bathrooms and cars and dreading what might come next. No more eggshells. Seriously, no more eggshells. Does that not sound amazing? 45 minutes to finally see the pattern that's been invisible to you, or maybe you can see it and you feel helpless against it. There's no cost to this call, but it is an investment that will save you hundreds of hours of heartache. And I want to be clear, this call is free. There's no obligation. We are just going to talk. Yes, we can talk about working together, but I just want to help you. I want you to leave with a path forward, whether we ever work together again or not. So here's what I want you to do. In the show notes, there is a link to book your Discover Your Disconnection Pattern call. Please click it. Pick a time that works for you. Let's talk. Because here's the truth. That connection that you're longing for, I promise it's possible. And if you don't think it's possible, come to the call and tell me why. The relationship that you're grieving, it is not gone. You're not too late. We can turn this around. Nothing has gone so completely wrong. You just need better tools, and I would be honored to help you find them. I'll see you on the call, my friend, and I'll talk to you next week.